Is it gonna load? See, that's another thing. I don't know if it's gonna load because I was banned, right? And
onto YouTube. Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Where do I? Yeah.
So, oh, here we go. There we go.
Good.
All right. Well, this is our fourth show, Deceivers and Believers podcast. We're just going to be catching up with current events, and just me and Nate here today using Google Meet.
Hey guys.
So, how you doing today, Nate?
Good, brother. How are you?
Good. So, figured we could just catch up with what's going on in Australia, talk flat Earth, stuff I've been doing this week, what you've been doing this week, things we've been hearing.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right.
Sounds good. On a start, let's just talk about censorship for a second, because you've been experiencing a shitload of it, and I'm banned from going live on Insta at the moment for doing a post. I'll actually talk about my one first. So I got banned from live about 5 days ago, and the reason for it was that one of my posts went against the community guideline, and it was removed, but they wouldn't tell me which one, and they won't tell me how long I'm banned from live for, but it's a temporary ban on live. So I'm wondering how, if I posted something, would then my live function be the thing you disable, but I can still post something?
Interesting.
Yeah. How about you? What happened with you?
So, I originally got banned for saying something about the trick that they're doing with people right now on Facebook is showing you comments and pages that you're not friends with. So, and then like if your friends comment under them and you go and say like a negative comment, you'll get flagged for bullying and they'll instantly charge you on that. So that's why they've been suggesting random pages, because long as you say it on your page and yours, you're good. But if you're doing it on somebody that you don't know, they hit you hard with that strike, and then boom. So I've learned just to not to like throw any. There was one time I got banned for an algorithm flag. I'm confident that it wasn't a human being that flagged me on an algorithm, that it was the wordage that flagged me. So it was like a computer script. It wasn't. And then it was about abortion, a Bill Maher thread. So then with the blah 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 blah. This time I got banned on September 24th from YouTube for posting a video of somebody getting blood pulled from their arm. It had
you mentioned that.
Yeah, it had science misinformation and it banned me for a week. But I still haven't been able to upload any videos with my phone at all. I've been able to go live here, obviously, on YouTube, but I can't upload any videos. And I was having
very interesting.
Yeah, I was having trouble with same thing on Facebook, uploading videos to Facebook and tagging large groups of people. Every time I tag more than like 50 people, my posts get deleted. So, and I'll have posts that I don't really care if people see, and it'll get a bunch of likes, and then I'll get posts that I want people to see that don't get seen at all. So there's like a shadow banning there with the content.
Okay, it's interesting you mentioned that. Yeah, it's an algorithm shadow ban. And the reason why I'm curious about that was because I did exactly the same thing yesterday. I did a shadow ban shout out to everyone on my page, and I did it in one of those text tiles, and I did it just to see what was happening and if anyone could see it. And like 12 or 15 people saw it, but then my live feed from the day before, only one person saw. Right, and I'm getting this like constant like this. I have 1,500 people or so that are my friends, and I have 250 followers. But somehow, stuff that I want people to see doesn't get any eyes, and then something stupid like meme will get heaps of people looking at it. It's weird.
You're breaking up on me. Hold on. Yeah, you're chopping in and out on me. I wanted to use this because it seemed like we had the best connection here. Here we go. So we are on the opposite ends of the Earth, the flat plane. There we go. There you go. You look like you're back. Where were you
Wait a
at?
second. My mic kicking. Better.
Watch out. Yo, try to keep it down. My kids are going crazy right now.
That's cool, bro.
So I didn't get into what you were saying there.
I'm just seeing if my connection's better now. I've just tried to link up to another one. Am I steady?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, sweet. Yeah, so the censorship's very interesting, and the shadow banning is very interesting, and doing this work and then having everything be destroyed, and you do it for free, is very interesting, right? But we still progress. We still go forward because the truth's the truth, and it's not going away.
Yeah, I experience it in multiple ways now that I have different accounts. I've had it happen to me on TikTok one time. I had a video going viral, and then they flagged it as something sexual, and it wasn't. It wasn't at all. I mean, and it went to like 20,000 views, had a couple thousand likes, and then they shut me off real quick. There was nothing wrong about it. It wasn't even like truth or stuff. It was something silly. I'd made like a silly TikTok video, right? And but they control who makes it and who doesn't, and who gets popular and who doesn't get popular. That's
the problem is probably the other things on your feed will be things that they don't want attention on. And if something got 20,000 views, there's a chance someone's going to click over to your page. And if they see something that actually wakens them up to what's going on, they don't like that.
Yeah, that's one reason I do like TikTok is because you can use it as a tool to get people that normally wouldn't be interested in conspiracies, and then you could make funny videos, and then you could get several hundred people to follow you, and then boom, you could release a conspiracy theory video, and then they're watching it, something they normally wouldn't be watching. And so when I got banned from YouTube this time for the coagulated blood video, you can find that video on TikTok. If it's at the Protector of the Realm, I'm on TikTok. You go back about 15 videos, you'll find it. But you'll get the picture. I took the audio out of it so it wouldn't get banned. It had a Russian doctor talking over it though, but yeah, that video got me banned for a week. I just still haven't been able to put stuff back. But also I've noticed statistics nerfing. Nerfing is where they make it seem like you're not getting as many views. So like say right now we have 5 people watching us. There could possibly be 10 people watching us.
I've been getting this shitloads on my lives. Yes. Yes.
So, and then like a lot of my videos, they'll instantly go to like 35 likes, and then 3 days later, it'll have 27 likes. I'm like, how did it go down? And then, but I'll go to my statistics on my YouTube Studio page, and it'll say 36 likes. And then I'll thumbs down it, thumbs it up, refresh the page, and then it'll hop back up. But to everybody else going to the page, it's showing that I'm not getting any traffic. So they make it look like people just coming in on the show, that you're not getting any traffic. So like, oh, nobody pays attention to this guy. Why should I?
He's just getting dropouts. Yeah.
Right. And then they come in, and then boom, they show him disconnected. The first person I saw this happen to, where I talk about it, I follow his channel. He barely has anybody follow him, but it's Payday Monsanto. I first heard about him through ODD TV, right? And yeah, Xander's here.
How do you spell Payday Monsanto?
Payday space Monsanto. It's usually all caps. He's like a rapper, truther, musician.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, nice, talented.
So
there's a lot of that these days. A lot of people that have other talents and also do truth.
Yeah, my friend Xander, he's watching right now. He has 2 turntables. I was wanting to get a music episode podcast with people who are truthers and do music. Fenry does music. Xander does music.
I found a guy last night. This guy called Tony T, and he's a crazy Caribbean kind of guy. And he was on Isaac David's on Insta last night, and it was unreal, man. It was like a party. I felt like I was actually somewhere I wanted to be, and it was fun. And it's been a long time since I felt like that, brother.
Awesome. Yeah, let's talk about Australia a little bit. So what is it like right where you're at? If you want to go to the grocery store right now, what are the rules for you?
Okay, so if I go to the grocery store, it has to
Mhm.
be within 5Ks of my house. If I go to the grocery store, I'm meant to wear a mask. If I go to a grocery store, I'm meant to scan in. And I'm meant to stand 1.5 meters away from everybody. They're basically the rules for the grocery store. I don't wear a mask. I don't scan in. I don't stand 1.5 meters away. I live a normal life. I try to avoid them. Every now and then I get attacked by someone. So I'll be just walking in the supermarket or the street and I'm not wearing a mask and someone will just fucking shout stupid shit at you like a crazy Karen. We call them Karens over here. I don't know if you have Karens
Now,
over there.
the environment over there, is it 50-50?
Sorry, I lost you.
Oh, is the environment over there, is it 50-50? Or what would, with the mindset,
As in mask wearing people?
the paradigm, right? Like,
Oh, okay. I feel like it's definitely a 50-50 kind of thing, but the media portray it similar to what you were talking about how they rev limited how many people are watching your show. I think that they give you the impression like it's 10%. I think the genuine number is way closer to half.
yeah, see, I feel like here they show a lot of people that you would think by watching the news that everybody is pro shot, pro everything, but I live in Texas and I would say 75-80% is against it. I would say of FDA stuff, like
Mm.
pretty freedom-minded. The South in general is a pretty freedom-minded place. I think that was the whole point of the Civil War and kind of in general is the South had a more freedom-minded um, belief set, even though this whole slavery topic, right? But I'm saying the way that they wanted to be. They didn't want
Yeah.
unions and governments in their lives, right? So
Yeah, like I look at the different states of America and I look at the way that they've structured their different constitutions and things of that nature. And I think that there's a lot of good ideas that have came out of the way that they've tried to run some of those states. I think there's some fucking crazy ones as well. Like I wouldn't want to be in New York right now. There's a lot of places in America I wouldn't want to be. But my friend in Florida and where you are in Texas, they're probably two places that sound half alright compared to the rest of the place. And I know there's other pockets all over the place, but for us, this is where the manipulation is, right? I'm speaking to a friend right now who I'm probably going to have on my lives on a nighttime, and she has a daughter who's in Queensland, and she lives in New South Wales, and she's on the border, right? So it's not like there's a big wall. There's not like there's some fucking, they're two islands that separate each other. These are just two places that you literally step from one side to the other and you're in a different state. They've told her she had to get this jab thing, this experiment thing, the Pfizer one. And they told her that she had to get that. And so she got that so that she could go see her daughter. And she then went to see her daughter. And when she went to see her daughter, she drove across the border and there was no checkpoint, there was no police, there was no one locking the border or blocking the border. This woman was told and believed that there was no way they were going to let her past, and she was lied to and manipulated. Since then, she's been having heart problems, she's been feeling very ill, and she's been having irregular menstrual cycle, and it hasn't stopped for 10 days, and she went to ER last night. That's what's happening in my country right now. People are believing what they're seeing on the news and what the government is saying, and then that's the reality they're living out in their life every day. Versus me, I don't watch the news, probably like you, very similar, and we go and stare at the sun or the stars.
yeah, I like to pretend that it's not going on at all. That it doesn't exist. In my, like what was it saying the other day? How do you just act like nothing's going on? And I'm like, close your eyes, pretend it's 2019.
Everyone
Open
do
your
this now.
eyes.
Hold on. Everyone do this now. Everyone close your eyes. Go. Close your eyes. Everyone close your eyes. Do it. Let's go, Preston.
Now pretend it's 2019.
Yeah.
Open your eyes. Ah!
Hey! It's true, but right? Like, nothing was ever this fucking ridiculous. Ever. Nothing was ever this ridiculous.
And it's been done before. This has been done before. The swine flu I've got a video on that on TikTok. I can't really be specific here in this audio, but um, yeah, they've renamed uh, pandemics before. It's this isn't
Mm.
the first rodeo, and not it almost done in the exact same way.
And the thing is,
Yeah.
this is what they like to do more than anything. Apart from doublespeak, they like to do a thing where they reclassify definitions in a legal sense. So originally, pandemic meant something in Australia, but then they went in the middle of this thing and classified it as meaning something else. And that's how they manipulate the system. They give you a word and they make you believe it's this thing for forever. And then later on, they change that word to mean something slightly different. That's like, for instance, in Australia, they took out treason. One of the rules were if you were treasonous in government, you could be murdered, you could be killed, right? They changed, or capital punishment was one of the rules, or like full life jail. They changed the rules, so that's no longer a rule. So the politicians, if they lied and got caught, they would never end up with the worst part of the law. And this is the manipulation they use. So we're always getting twisted with words. And I watch a bit of your news sometimes because I've got friends over there. And man, the way they manipulate on your media, the people that don't understand have no hope.
I get aneurysms just watching TV. Like, I talk to this kid at the smoke shop all the time. He's a mixed martial arts fan, but he's like, "Why do you watch the news?" I was like, "To see the narrative." That's because he also sees the sports narratives, what they're lying, what they want you to believe. I'm like, so I see that as a way to get him started in other directions. He's already a conspiracy-minded thing about sports. You can push him in a direction, like, oh, you already think like that. Then it's easy to throw other things in your sink, right? Like, hey, what about this? What about this?
Just wash it up.
Yeah.
What do you think people think like that?
Oh man.
Because we've talked about trauma, we've unpacked that previously, but like that kid's just out
It's
of
an
the box like that,
antitrust
right?
thing, right? They've been
Hey!
jaded. Yeah. They've been screwed over by something, and they realize that they know people are evil that have an evil side to them at their core. You have to be a little honest with yourself and the truth to know that there's evil inside of people, and that they will full-fledged take advantage of that. And if you don't think somebody's going to try to take advantage of you or their situation, then you're probably going to be easily fooled too.
Wow,
So
that's profound. I like that.
yeah, so yeah, he already thinks like that a lot of fights are rigged and things. So it's easy to drop seeds in a mind that already is skeptical and pessimistic of things.
If you were giving someone that first stepping board, that bit of truth, because truth's that base, right? It's the thing that you step on, and when you step on it, you feel it's firm, like the ground even, maybe. And what would be the first bit of truth you'd like to give someone about flat earth who's stepping off?
Oh man, the first bit about flat earth truth.
Come on, you've done it heaps of times, or you've at least thought about this guy. What would be his one?
I always start with the moon because I think everybody loves the moon. Like everybody's out at night watching.
No one's
the moon.
like, "Fuck you, moon."
Yeah, nobody is against the moon. Like we all
it's
like looking
the
at
fuck
it.
department, right? That's why there's no fuck the fire department.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And the moon's never done anything to anybody except create a bunch of murders on midnight. So, I have a theory on that the murders are just because people can see it more at night, so they're able to do more vigilant stuff. Therefore, people are out more at night doing things at night. So,
yeah. Oh, there is definitely a crazy element to it. I don't know, I don't know if it's parasitic, because I've thought about that as well, because there's an element of parasites that control the way that we behave. People will not want to admit that or understand that, but definitely sugars and wanting and craving sugars. And there's,
I think it's more of a vibration or a frequency. Like it has some kind of like a magnetic energy or field with it, and it's bringing a new one each day, maybe. And because I often wake up and I feel like each day is a different day for me.
It definitely is, because the waxing and the waning of the moon, which I've been paying a lot of attention to, and the cycles and the spiritual practices that relate to that, very much have a difference to every day.
Yeah.
Like I've got a couple of apps on my phone now that tell you crazy shit about the moon every day. I'll put them up later for everybody.
So, have you seen the videos that I made this week about the clouds? Have you watched those?
I love that video. The first one I watched the other day a couple of times over, and then I've watched the one where you did the stand next to this morning. I watched it once through.
Yeah. So today, right before we came out, I was watching. I was feeling the wind, and the wind's going towards the south today. So the first video, it goes towards the north, and then that way, then that way, then that, and it's on like a track, right? You can see it going away from you, and each day it's changed course. So like the wind went that way, then that way, then that way. Each day it's going in another direction. So maybe
but you're saying it's like
it's a circle above me, and each day it goes in another direction. A track.
And you're saying each day it's like linear how much it moves.
Yeah, I would say 15 degrees.
Yeah. Constant, not linear. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a wheel in the sky.
Yeah.
That you have right above you, your biological clock.
Yeah.
And each day, the wind is going right above you in a different direction. So tomorrow, right now it's going slightly southwest or southeast. And tomorrow, I think it's going to be more south to.
So you're not talking about a local breeze like hitting you in the face. You're talking about geographically what you can see on an overall structure of where the clouds are moving, just so everyone understands you.
Yes. Yeah. Here, so I will do a screen share.
Cool.
So yeah, this time we'll get a little bit more
technical.
Here we go. Let's see if I can bring this over here. What happens if I do? I don't want to. Okay. Hold on. There we go. So. Where's the video?
So while we're looking for that, I'll quickly talk about the outage yesterday. So there was a video that came out of Russia where the president was talking about wanting someone who ran a company that is a social media giant that they should take some of the bad stuff off their platform. Otherwise, they were going to delete it themselves. And I believe that might have been something to do with the outage yesterday, which is quite interesting because it was on an international European TV station that it came out. So when our little friend Facey and our little friend Insta went down yesterday in WhatsApp, it was kind of strange. And then all their staff also got locked out of the building, which was strange. So we're in an interesting time at the moment, guys. So if you haven't backed up all your photos of all your kids and everything else that you want to keep, I suggest doing it now.
All right, here we go. So you can see me screen sharing pretty much, right?
Yeah.
We're going to be a little bit off on the timer, I think. But,
yeah, that's cool.
So I'm going to share this What in the Realm video. And this is facing west. So the clouds are going away from me along with the sun, right? And you can tell it's on like a roller. And see how the sun is going, it seems like it's coming upward, right? As it's going down and away. It seems like it's kind of like headed north a little bit. North of west.
Yep.
But the clouds are going that direction too. Like they're going upward as well. So like, see how it's going up? The clouds are going that direction too. Now, something I was noticing today, right? You see how some of them are going like invisible, right? See how you're only seeing part of them?
Yep.
All right. Can you see my mouse on this screen?
Yeah, I can.
All right. See all this whiteness in this?
Yep.
All this whiteness in the sky? All that is clouds. All that is clouds. You just can't see it.
Okay.
Do you understand what I'm saying? All this whiteness, fuzzy whiteness that you're seeing is clouds. Yeah. You're just not visibly able to see it. You're only seeing a certain bit of spectrum. For some reason, I don't know why. I can't explain it to you, but I wanted to take a picture of the sky today because I was witnessing this phenomenon today with the way the sky was lit up.
Could it be the density of those
The
parts,
clouds?
the particles of the clouds?
Yeah,
Because it looks like
I
the
thought
bits
about
that are
that.
there are more dense. Yeah.
Okay, so right, so it's particle density. Now see how it's here. All right, see this right here?
Yep.
That's still there. Okay,
Yeah.
now watch it, watch it. See right here? See that?
Yep.
That's still there.
Yep.
See this cloud right here?
Yeah.
It's still there. That's a big cloud. See that? It goes all the way down, up.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's still there. You can still see
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
but you're only seeing like this.
Okay. On your time lapse, how much is the spacing on per frame?
Now see, I thought about this too. Okay, this is because of a time lapse, but I saw
Yeah.
this phenomena today with my bare eyes.
Okay, sweet. So if you did a raw video of just a normal stream and then you sped it up so you had every frame,
Right, but you can go
you would still
outside
prove the same
and
shit,
just
yeah.
look at the sky just like this. And if you
Yeah.
go out, so I was telling my buddy Fenry about this, about the
Yeah.
sky. So like sometimes you'll go outside and there won't be a single cloud in the sky, and the whole sky, the firmament, will be like a gray. Like the deeper the gray is, the more water's in the sky. But it's not going to rain because there's no clouds in the sky. Like, and then say if you get the sky's like this where it's deep blue right above you, but it's white everywhere, but you can't see any clouds.
Mm-hmm.
There's clouds in the sky, you're just not able to see them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, when it's like this, they're there. Yeah. You're just for some reason the sun is a projection, and that it's projecting these magical things in the sky. The clouds are like the things that I'm most interested in right now. I've figured out what the sun and the moon do and their patterns and tracks and how I observe them where I'm at.
Yep.
Clouds are starting to become my passion now. So
interesting. Well, I'm playing with light with the studio and setting up the stuff behind me and different things like that. And I can tell you that light's fucking trippy, man. The way light refracts off different surfaces. Like I've got a LED light over there in the corner and it's pointing at the ground virtually. But that then is then reflecting off that ground and then bouncing up and hitting me. So the way light refracts off different things is really interesting. And the way that I've watched a lot of sun through clouds, and watching the sun through clouds and even the moon through clouds, and seeing the way that it highlights certain edges and then doesn't hit other bits. And it's almost like there's another cloud blocking part of what it's hitting. And you know, because it's a local sun, that like one cloud can definitely take all the heat away. So you can be standing there, like I was standing outside my pool yesterday, and my pool's kind of chilly at the moment. And I jumped in, and then I jumped out, and then the sun went up behind a cloud, and I was fucking shivering. But normally I'm like, oh, the sun's there, it's good. So yeah, if it can cut it off like just here, that's why part of this cloud you can't see, but it's still there. But then that bit up there that's being hit by the sun is illuminated and shiny. So it's only really the sun that's doing the vision of the clouds, not the clouds doing the vision.
Right. It's pretty crazy though, to think that there's clouds that you're looking dead at that are kind of have like an invisible wall in front of you.
The one that spun me out was when you said the whole sky was white, but there's no clouds. And I was like, yeah, you're right. Is that a whole cloud?
All the whiteness that's in front of you that I showed you is a cloud. Is a fucking cloud, yeah. Isn't that crazy? Yeah.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. So here,
okay, I'm about to show you.
Your audio is a little bit hard on that one, yeah.
Okay, so these are 4 TikTok videos that I added together. I showed you. You showed, yeah. So the first one, and yeah, see, it's going completely north.
Can you make that bigger?
Yeah.
Video. I'm showing you the clouds.
Because that video is really good. I love that video. Watching the
clouds
videos
going north. They're rotating. They're going.
Because then I realized how much the clouds are on a track. Like up until that point, I've done time lapse of myself and I've seen them, but I didn't realize that it rotates, and I didn't realize that it's going in the same direction as the sun or the moon.
Yeah. So each day it slowly went like clockwise. To a different direction. Today it was slightly to the southeast, and tomorrow I'm hoping it's directly south or more directly south. But
my son's tracking back from north to east now, so it's going from more northeast back to east.
Okay. But so as you were telling me, the sun rolls too. So tomorrow, I think the sun, the actual ball, will be rolling. How would I say it? To the south, right? So it would be rolling north to south because all the clouds will be going on a southern track tomorrow. I'm hoping that that bottom track that we saw in that first video right there,
Yeah.
that everything will be going to the south, and the sun, the beams, like
Yeah.
in that one video where I'm showing you rolling, it's rolling away from me. The
Yeah.
beams, you can see the beams rolling like as they're like almost like they're an object, like a
Yeah.
bar. So
I love that video you got the fucking end of the moon. So you got the moon going over, and then the sun comes into the hue of the background, and then all of a sudden the moon just disappears, right? And then you have the sun starting to take its track, and then you see the clouds follow the same track, and then everyone can see that the moon's still there, but she disappeared because of the brightness of the sun. You can see that the sun and the moon follow the same track at different timings, and you can also see that the clouds are on the same thing.
yeah. Yeah, I got lucky with that. I told my wife, I said, we might get to watch the moon disappear today. So,
You fucking got it.
yeah, we were talking about that last week, weren't we?
We were. And they're all the phenomenon that I've observed as well. That's like when we sit here and talk about this shit, it's not like pie in the sky stuff or we don't know. Like I literally went out and looked at the things that you're doing, and I've observed the same things.
Yeah,
so that's where like it's fact, right?
That's mainly where I want to get people to realize that what I'm saying isn't crazy. You can go experience this. You can go see it yourself. I'm not crazy.
No,
I know that I'm not crazy anymore, and at first I did. At first I thought I was real crazy, and now I know that I'm not. So, but
you have to be willing to push the boundaries of what you think you know and what you don't know, and you have to really unlearn the indoctrination. And to do that, you have to break a little bit. You have to understand they constructed us so perfectly, and you've been through military as well, right? So you've been through even more than like the average bear, and to know that you have to actually come out of that and then renew the way that you view the world without those, they're rose-colored glasses, but they're colored for war or they're colored for whatever they wanted you to believe, not what really is there. And when you just pay attention to it like you have, you see something that doesn't make sense to what they tell you. And that's where you start.
I forgot to share the podcast or the show to everybody.
That's cool.
Yeah, my bad. I keep forgetting all the technical things.
Man, it's so hard, like balancing an internet connection, having Facebook go down, having all these things do this stuff.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that.
Consistent.
So the Facebook went down. So what do you know what exactly that it was? I heard that they had somebody delete a packet out of the servers, and that caused it to go down. That's one thing I've heard. What story have you heard?
I've heard the Russian version, which is basically they informed Zuckerberg that if he didn't do what they asked and get rid of all the nefarious child abuse stuff that they were protecting within their platforms, that then there was going to be consequences from Russia. That's what I heard. And it came through from Reuters, which is a credible news source in Europe. So
okay,
I heard that one. And then I heard that employees were locked out, which was strange. So I used to work in security. So generally, if there's something to do with an internal system of a company like Facebook, your swipe access wouldn't be affected, right? That's an access control for a building. That's on a completely different circuit to what your internet servers are and everything else like that. You'd never run systems together like that. So anyway, for someone to be locked out, it's because someone's either locked you out or there's been something malicious happen where they haven't been able to get you access because everything's been broken or corrupted. So whatever happened there, I'm not speculating. All I know is that it's unusual that in the middle of a crisis, when you're losing $219 billion an hour, or $1 million an hour, that you don't want all hands on deck. You would want everyone in that building fucking coding the shit out of triaging whatever you need to do.
See, but I think that sometimes you got to lose money to make money, and you give the appearance that you're really losing and taking losses and this and that. It's kind of like when when a company like Halliburton gets hit for a smack on the wrist, and they're like, "Oh, they lost $500 million." Well,
Yes.
they made 40 billion this year. What do you like?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and what you just said then, I had a conversation with Tom from Florida yesterday, and that was the conversation we had about politicians and sex scandals.
Oh yeah,
So
it's the same thing.
he said like every time you see a Me Too or a sex scandal or anything like that, it's a redirection for some other massive corruption or fraud that they've covered up and put under the rug. And I was like, he's right. Like look at Clinton and look at his wife and look at their relationship with Pizzagate and everything else like that.
Ghislaine Maxwell, her trial was on the 13th of August, and nobody even knew about it. So
Exactly.
that's very recently, and
Right.
she's directly related to the English family, right?
Monarch, yeah,
Yeah.
correct. And a lot of other people. And her dad was like MK Ultra and some other stuff as well. Like they're all and we talked about this yesterday as well. Like Bill Gates and all his family are all back through eugenics, right? Every single person that's there is by design, and
The
they're being
Rockefeller
conditioned,
family. Yep. Yeah.
all conditioned from little kids. So even like Gates is. So last night I got a TikTok video that was crazy. It's a 3-part TikTok video, and it basically explained that Gates pays Garvey $150 million for something, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. And then they pay Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation back the same amount of money or more, right? And then they'll both pay someone else. And then out of all the states in Australia, Victoria, who's the worst, most harshest lockdown state in the world right now, and they're the world record holder for it, they get $130 million from Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation.
For being
I found that
locked down?
astonishing. Yeah. I found that really astonishing.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Yeah, what's going on in your country right now is just insane. Like, the stuff I see, like, because in my world, in Texas, I don't,
You sort of
yeah, and then, like, I'm watching chaos on the other side of the plane.
Yeah.
So,
Look, it's not chaos every day, but it could turn into chaos pretty quickly. Like, if a cop just hasn't got his head on the right way that day, or just decides that he's going to give you a hard time, people can do stuff now, and the way they've manipulated the rules because of the rule of law over here, we're in a slippery slope right now with the way police are acting. And it's a matter of time before we have a Rodney King-esque kind of moment. The thing is, we don't have the racial tension or anything else like that.
it
But if they
reminds
shot-
me of our country after 9/11. They allowed so many people to just get strip searched in enemas at airports over, like, why is an American getting an enema to go to another state? Like, why is this happening? Like,
TSA's taking grandma's fucking shoes off while they're on crutches, right? Or
Yeah.
they're in wheelchairs and want to make them stand up. Like, there's crazy shit happening like that.
yeah, it blew my mind.
Well, very much, and that's the game, right? The whole game is like, if you put enough pressure on people that justifies your result. Like, people have this belief that, like you said about the small loss, right? They think the government wouldn't take a hit. The government wouldn't, dump revenue. The government wouldn't dump, it's all about our GDP. It's all about being buoyant in the international economy. Well, who do we owe all this money to if everyone's in debt? If the biggest countries in the world, the most fucking rich countries in minerals and everything else are in debt, then who are they in debt to? And that's where it all goes, right? When you pay attention to it all, you realize that this is all a game. Like, the courts are theatre. The politicians are theatre, right? And then they put theatre on your TV, and you all sit there and you have your fucking bread and fucking circus, and you go to sleep. And then there's all of us going, this doesn't fucking feel right.
Yeah, I forget what bill it was, but there's an actual bill that says they can lie to us. Like,
I saw that one.
Yeah, there's a propaganda bill.
Yeah.
So
they got rid of that. So they used to have one that was in the States. They used to have a bill that was, you couldn't use propaganda on your own people because it was a type of warfare. Mm-hmm. And then when Obama was in, he fucking got rid of that.
Oh, really? See, I
Yeah,
think
that's what it was.
that's what I think about the whole Kabul psyop with the whole fake airplane, where you could tell like it looks like a blow up toy. It looks like a rubber blow up toy, but
When
it's
you
got
did that video, man,
yeah,
when you did
yeah,
the video, he goes, "Why are they all smiling?" I'm like, "He's fucking right." They're all
yeah.
running
They're all
they're
like, hey,
"Mom, I'm on
hey,
TV, Mom. Hey, hey."
yeah, and but the windows are painted on. There's no engine, and right where like the wing connects to the airplane, it looks like a big rubber piece right there, right where the wing connects to the big part of the belly. You
Yeah.
can tell that it's not metal, like that it looks
You know
like
what's the funniest part, bro? This is the funniest part about all that shit. People believe it, and people are like, no one's gone. I'm gonna like download that and have a look. I'm gonna look at the YouTube video. I watched it on the news. I'm gonna go back and have a look again. No one actually goes, that looks sus as fuck. They're all like,
but a
man,
lot of
at
people
least we
do.
yeah,
A lot of
no,
people
but
do though, I
I
think.
know they do, but then there's all the other people going, well, at least we're not in Afghanistan. In Australia, everyone was saying, shut the fuck up about complaining about people shooting bullets at you. At least you're not in Afghanistan. That's what they were saying to people over here.
Yeah. So I was at the smoke shop. It's funny you say that. And on 9/11, we're talking about conspiracy, and there's like young kids. See, the generation. I stay pretty in tune with ages of generations and how, because my wife and I are in different generation gaps, and she's only a couple of years older than her sister's a year older than me, and we're in the same generation. So what the things we paid attention to and the things we liked were different. So I often pay attention to like the age of my cousins. They're like about to graduate college. The age of like I try to pay attention to like people that are like 27, 28, what things they believe in politically, the culture of them, because they often grasp the age of their generation. I pick up on the algorithms of human beings, and I often see the 19 to 22-year-old generation the most brainwashed, like the most puppeted generation, and they were at the smoke shop. They were both all talking about how, um, being the war and everybody's being patriotic for being over in Afghanistan. I'm like, so you believe 9/11 wasn't an inside job? Like y'all believe we should be over there? Like, have y'all not questioned this? So that was my whole thing. Like,
Well, I think there's a hard part with that, right? So this is the bit. This is the bit where adults and older people let these people down. How would you feel if you were just born and you got to 15 years age and people said, these bad people fucking flew planes into buildings? You'd be like, fuck, they did. And then you'd see a video of it that wasn't something that we put up, and you'd be like, fuck, that's really bad. And so then that would be the end of that. Because what it is, it's the general consensus around you is all the fucking adults that are meant to have a clue have said, yeah, I agreed with that. And they've moved on with their life. So you get there and you're like, okay, I guess it's real. And that's what I think those poor kids are. I think they're the direct result of all these unconscious fucking adults just going along with dumb shit and not actually doing critical research themselves.
but I see that a lot of people don't think 9/11 was like real. They believe it was an inside job. Like most people, even sheep today, I would think would most agree that it wasn't foreign people, but the
But
new
they still
generation.
think planes hit. They still think planes hit.
Yeah.
See?
So the
They
new
still think
generation is.
Building 7, right? There's like, there's
Oh yeah, they don't even know there was a third building.
that's where if you think about back in history, think about something before your time, like JFK. Think about World War II. Think about Vietnam. And think about all those things and how they could have told you whatever the fuck they wanted. And if enough people went, that was what they said it was,
Yeah.
we're done. We're never going to be able to pull that shit apart unless you've got a first person who's going to tell you the truth.
Yeah, that's what I say about anything in history that you weren't there to experience. Like, it's hearsay. Take heed of it. Don't take it for. Don't stand on it. 'Cause
Definitely don't stand on it because
Yeah.
it's not firm like the fucking earth we're standing on. It's
And
it's a
immovable.
look. They deleted like 15 books out of the Bible, right? The Vatican have 55 kilometers worth of books that they've never released to mankind. So if you think for a second that they want you to know the truth and they're telling you through gospel or anything else like that, you might be being misled. And what you said earlier, Preston, about how to use discernment and look at stuff, I think is the thing. It's how you decide what to take on. It's whether or not you take you can't take anything in history other than with a grain of salt.
Exactly. That's once again back to my whole research of observations and experiments. It's speaking from personal experience. You really can't you can't argue outside of your experience and things that you haven't experienced. Nobody cares if you haven't experienced it. Then you're just sharing a story. Then you just got to be a really good storyteller. Then somebody will care. But if you're not sharing your experience, then nobody's going to care anyway. So have you seen the? I'm doing another screen share. The moon theory. That the moon, that the Earth, the map, the Earth is the map on the moon.
So I'm in a couple of pretty cool groups, and I'm in a group with Adam Lewington, one of my close mates, who is he runs a couple of groups, and we've got a Telegram group and a Facebook group, and that whole scenario was something that played out a couple of months ago with us, and we were watching it, and I was taking photos and I was sending it to everybody in the group because it really interests me. And the thing that interests me is because this also fits with the idea of hidden land, because the impression of what you see is the reflection of the planet and the Earth, as far as the land that's on our plane. There's more of it than what maps out to our planet at the moment on the current round ball maps that they're giving us. So what do you got for me on that?
Can you hear the sound?
No.
You can't hear the sound in the video?
No.
Okay, so I have
it's
the
not
video.
Up yet. I can't see the video up yet either.
Okay.
It's not screen shared. Yeah.
All right, I have it muted, but now it's playing. Yeah, I actually like this theory a lot, and it would make sense to as above, so below, right? And the waning right to left crescent, the sun, everything comes from east to west. It matches our experience. I just don't agree with any circular model. So you put that on a flat world atlas map with Pac-Man principles, and yeah, I just don't. It's hard to like get the exact image off the moon, right?
Well, what interests me about it is, okay, I understand what you say about your square Earth idea, but what about if just because that's a disc in the sky? Because I don't think it's actually a 3D. It has 3D elements to it, but I don't think it is.
Yeah, it looks like a bulge disc to me. That's
it
my
does, definitely,
like a
especially as
frisbee.
it's waxing and waning. Yeah, it has a crusty kind of donutty hook to it, right? You can really see it, and where it disappears, it's like it does taper off. You can see it rolls off.
Right. So this video, it basically suggests that the map of the Earth is on the moon, and that it's kind of like a half pipe equidistant map. So what I think would go on here is the sun, the Earth is surrounded by water. This is Antarctica. This is what I think this is, and it's more.
We can't see the video.
You can't see it?
No, you haven't screen shared yet.
Oh, did I cancel off? You haven't screen shared? I haven't screen shared at all?
No, not on this bit.
Oh, okay. All right. Here we go. Tab. Share. Am I not sharing? Is it working? No. Oh, shit. Stop.
You had the audio. You went on. You didn't screen share the tab. You've screen shared your whole screen.
Oh, I see what I did now.
Yep. Sorry, guys. Technical issue.
All right. We got it?
Yeah, you're good now. You're good.
All right, here we go.
Yeah, there we go. Perfect. That's it.
Can you hear it?
Nah, turn up maybe. More. No, still can't hear it.
So this video, I got hit with a strike earlier, so it's blocked by somebody. So I don't want to go through the whole video. So it's, yeah. So here's the video. It's just suggesting that the Earth map, is the moon. So I think the Antarctica right here is down below, and the map's correct. It's just See, I just don't agree with how the sun rises and sets in the circles on the map.
I didn't see those. I haven't seen any of those parts, but it very much interests me.
Mm-hmm. See, and you could have it could be an equidistant map, I think, for a square Earth.
What's an equidistant map? Can you explain equidistant? Because I haven't heard that word before.
An equidistant, azimuthal equidistant, is the mainstream flat Earth theory map, right? And it's distorted from the center. It means as you get further from the center, each
they elongated the shapes of
the latitude lines are even further elongated. So, yeah. But this video is pretty cool if you want to check it out. It's basically
Who's the video by?
The video is blocked by I don't even know. It doesn't tell me anymore. But I just shared it. Somebody sent it to me on WhatsApp and let me see. Oh, here it is. Tolo TV.
Okay, so it's their video.
Whoever that is.
Cool. Good on you, Tolo. Thanks for the video.
So.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, look, that one's one that I've been observing of late, and I'm still paying attention to it. There's a really bright spot on the moon too when it's in full moon at the bottom on my version, and it'd be interesting to map between where I am and where you are what the actual impression is, and if we get the exact same overlay, because they should be in reverse. You were saying the other day.
Yeah, your moon is upside down to my moon.
Fuck off, it is. Your moon's upside down.
Yeah, your moon's upside down. So yeah, with the globe version, so you got the moon out here, and you're looking at it. I'm looking at it right side up, and you're upside down, right?
Yeah.
So you would be looking at the moon upside down, and I'm looking at it right side up. That's why we see a different image upside down. That's the globe version, right?
Yeah.
So, but what I think is when you cross over into the southern half, you just see a different face of it.
Well, yeah.
A different. It's flipped upside down, so to let you know that.
Could it be that it's a mirror of, so similar to like where in a mirrored image like right now, my right to left's reversed. So when I'm looking at the camera right now, when I put my right arm up, it's actually my left hand side on the camera.
Right.
Yeah. So there's that. Yeah. So there's the opposite to it, because it's interesting. So I've been looking at the stars lately, and I've been looking at a couple of videos at them as well as when I go out with my camera, and they seem like they're there, but sometimes they're not there. And when you go to focus your camera, they go from being far away to close. And no other object I do that with in real life has that same relationship with my fucking camera, right? And I can't correlate that to stuff, because I can take a photo of my mic that's sitting in front of me, and I can go further back and I can do all the fucking crazy shit with it. Or even like, say I go and look at a lighthouse. I go and look at a lighthouse from the distance. So it's fucking far away, just like something is on the distance, like a star. And when I look at it, when I go to focus my camera will go into a process of getting that focus right, but then it'll be the same size when it gets to the final image. With a star, I'll take a photo focus and it'll change, and then it'll be massive in my photo, and it'll be like a ball of light.
Yeah, the camera and the naked eye, all the lights act differently too. Have you notice how, like, when you take a picture of the moon, it looks so small, but then you look at it and you're like, it's huge. You're like, what?
Yeah.
Why is it? And then with I've noticed that with the pictures of the stars too. With the sun, the moon, and the stars, if you get behind like a real thick tree and you just wave your head, it follows you like this. Like you can see it. It's evident that it's connected to your eyes.
The other bit that spins me out, right, is I'll get my tripod, I'll set up on a fucking star, and I'll leave it, and then I'll watch the star, and I'll feel like I must be having a shaky hand or something, because the star is literally jumping around on the screen in the viewfinder. And I'm like, I'm fucking stationary. Nothing is moving. So that means that the star isn't just in one spot. It is actually twinkle, twinkle, like they say. Mm-hmm. And it's not that I wonder what they are, because I know what they are now. I'm looking at them. I can see and observe what they are. It's not whatever anyone else has told me. That's for fucking sure. and they're not like suns from other fucking planets or other bullshit they say. The way that the sun, the planets and the stars interact, the constellations, is something very mystical. And like you said the other week, when you went outside and you could see the lines between the constellations, I've been paying attention to that, and it's something that really interests me.
So I believe they're all projections, right? And everything you see. So when you move your head at night with the stars, the lights will shake with your eyeballs. Like if you move your head real fast and then you see a star and you look at it, it'll make a little beam of light and flicker a little bit.
Yep.
Like, well, that's because your head's shaking. Like, well, how come it's only the lights in the sky that are doing it, not anything around me, not the lamppost, not only the stars are doing it? And people will say things like that and try to like rebuttal what you're saying and experiencing, but if you just think about it for a little bit, you'll be like, well, the lamppost isn't doing it, that light's not doing it, the plane in the sky is not doing it, only that star is shaking with my eyes shaking. So like
there's definitely fuckery with our eyes. Like the way our eyes work is perfect, but it has an imperfection into it as far as how well our brains can perceive, because our brains are seeing shit that doesn't make sense. And it's not us being crazy. It's the fact that like literally the observation that we're seeing is affecting us in that way. We're seeing what we're seeing. And we do it so many times until it's like, no, that's definitely what I saw. Like I've taken that many fucking photos of stars now, and video of stars and videos of planets, that I can tell you that their behavior is not normal to an object that I've taken a photo of, ever.
Yeah, the sky blows my mind every day that I go look at it. So
it's almost like when you take photos of sparkling water and you can't really get the good sparkles off like it does the stars. Like that same sparkle shine on the water, that same refraction is the same sort of thing you can never capture as well with the camera as you do with your eye. And then I wish I could zoom with my eye to see the stars, because then I'd really, really know what they fucking look like to my eye.
Yeah, I want to get a nicer camera. I only have the 900, but
yeah,
it does look like they're in water. And as I was saying earlier today, if you go back and watch the beginning of this stream, with the invisible clouds, where you're still seeing all the whiteness that you see, where you're not seeing any clouds, the clouds are there. There's clear blue days where the sky is real clear and blue and deep blue above you. And the grayer it gets, the more pollution that to me is in the sky, and the more clouds, the more water fills up. So it's a script or a program of the heavens where the sky will turn gray and then fill it with water, and then the clouds are kind of like portals to open up rain, right? That's kind of how I've come to imagine it. And I'm just trying to figure out how it all works, right? Like, I want to know the patterns and
yeah. Well, you're doing really well with the directional changes at the moment. I have to say that, like the things that you're noticing with your observations around shifting in winds. People could say, oh, but the wind blows in all different directions and it hits you in the face different ways on different days. And I agree with that completely. But that's not what you're talking about. You're talking about like a macro versus a micro version of weather experience. Most people only observe from the individual self point, but you're actually looking at it from a container perspective. What is this whole realm? That's why you're the protector of the realm. You're looking at it from the big picture and going, what is this thing I'm observing?
Yeah, because I think we're all having the same experience. We're having the exact same experience. And that's crazy to me that I think and believe the way that I do, knowing that I'm in the small crowd that thinks like I do.
Yeah.
And I think what I believe is and think and see and experience, and I accepted it to be true now, like as common. And I can't even fathom bringing the awareness to somebody and them not seeing it like I do. Like when somebody says it to you, the blinder should like, I feel like it should just be that way.
Well, it is with children, right? If you bring a child to the truth, there's no hang-ups or judgments or anything about the ego that has to protect. That it's like, oh, that's what that is. Like, it's like, if I don't understand a word or I don't understand a concept, I'll tell someone even on a live video, can you explain that better or whatever? Like, I have no problem with looking like a fool versus pretending like I know. And I think there's a lot of adults that don't really want their paradigm to be shifted that much, where what they thought was real was a lie.
I see a bunch of flat earthers. If you follow me, don't make up things. If you're debating somebody or telling somebody about flat Earth, you get stumped on a question and you're showing somebody flat Earth, say I don't know. Don't embarrass us all and start making up things that you can't prove. Please don't do that.
I don't know what the fucking moon is, but I've observed a lot of it, and I know what I know, and I know that it has a rounded shape on it, especially where it's waxing and waning, and like it curves off.
You can share your experience.
That's right, and I can tell you that like it's got its own light, and I've observed and felt that it's cool compared to the shade. We touched on that last week, and you said it was actually taking versus
I feel like it's
giving,
drawing my energy or heat out of me. That's what I feel like. I'm saying that's what I feel like, right?
And from a spiritual sense, that correlates to a lot of the stuff I've learned.
Mm-hmm. And when you feel the sun, it feels like it's pressing down on you, and you feel the moon, it feels almost like it's pulling the heat from you. Almost.
Yeah, the sun's like a warm hug.
Yeah, and then the moon's the opposite. Yeah, like.
And they. Like today is a new moon, where I am, and probably is with you too. Funny that. Interesting how.
Well, I watched it go. I disappeared. The video I showed earlier. We watched it rise and disappear. So.
Yeah. Oh, so that was the ending of the last.
Yeah,
phase.
Of our last phase. Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
So,
that's real cool.
Oh yeah. So the sun switched from its summer track to its equinox track like September 8th, 9th, after the new moon, new moon in September.
Yep.
And then the moon didn't seem to go to its equinox track till after the full moon.
Okay.
At around the proper equinox time. So like September 22nd or 23rd, that's when the moon decided to change tracks too. Like now they're both on the east to west track, instead of like one being southern track in the sky and one being a northern track in the sky. They're both east to west.
Yeah.
So.
But there was a delay with the transfer.
With the transfer, the moon did it second. The moon followed the sun, which makes sense in like theology or.
It's on a different timer, right? It has a different timer track, so that 2.5 day cycle is completely different to what the 1 day or the 24 hour and 50 minute cycle that I learned from you.
I've wanted to record this before, which write down that the moon goes first or the sun goes first, and record it season by season, and I just haven't. I meant to keep writing down. I've moved around a lot, and I meant to keep recording this, but
it's very hard when geographically you live somewhere else, because all of a sudden so many reference points are so different.
Oh yeah. My biological clock, I know where I'm at pretty much at all times. Like I can tell you which way is north, which way is east, west. Yeah. I'm pretty much good, like wherever I'm at. It would be trippy to be in the south and for it to be like opposite. That would, because I feel like I'm pretty connected to my biological clock, like my sun.
But I don't think it's opposite.
Because it's still coming from right to left.
Yeah, man. Always coming from right to left.
The sky is coming from right to left.
Yeah.
So, but your stars are rotating left and mine are rotating right.
My stars are... Okay, so I'm facing east right now. My stars go on a track that way.
Yeah, see, mine are the opposite.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
So, so that's what I try to tell people about the AHE model. Like, so back to the azimuthal equidistant. Azimuthal equidistant means distorted from the center.
Say that slower so all the people at home get it, because I've had 3 cracks at it. I still haven't got it exactly.
Azimuthal equidistant. The definition, if you go look up the definition, it literally breaks down to like distorted from the center, and each square.
And that's also known as the AE map.
The AE map, the Gleason-Alexander map, and it says it's a time and longitude calculator. It's a sun chart. I've went over this a million times, but what I learned in I took a little map education self-educated that most maps and globes and things like that, if you look at the squares on the map, all those squares are equal size. Like if you go to
Yes.
like the AE map or like the globe, or they have these different bulge, those distortments are so they could have put it on the globe, or so they could put the AE map on a flat pizza disc. Those squares are different sizes because they're distorted. In reality, all those squares are equal size.
Because otherwise it would be
Mhm.
different times in different places, but by not a consistent amount of time. And that's the things that you've been able to tell and talk about in like distance of travel with planes and different stuff like that, way deeper than I've been able to understand. And you've really got in your head like that's 6 hours to this point, and then how is it then that much extra to there? And that's the interesting stuff about this is when you really pay attention to it, lots of things around travel don't make sense to a round ball map. And also too, just the simple standardization and the codex of a globe, they've had to shrink and elongate things to make it make sense, which is similar to like the leap year and the fucking extra day and the slippage of time, because they're trying to put all these constructs on things that none of them actually map out to real reality.
No, and that's the thing. The things that match our reality, right,
Real.
are the magical things, like the east to west infinite loop. We experience this. We experience like a square map model, but we can't prove it. That's my thing about Square Earth is it's the only divine model out there. Every other model is concrete. I've been I don't like to push Square Earth because I really can't prove it, and I cannot prove it, but I haven't been able to debunk it. I really haven't, and that's my thing. Like,
Well, the Bible talks about four corners of the earth, right?
hmm
How do you have a corner if you don't have squares? How do you have a corner on a circle? How do you have a corner on anything other than some sort of shape that has those two, coinciding lines?
right. So, um, I made a long post a long time ago about the Square Earth theory. So you've got the cross; it's an unfolded box. You have the Mecca, we worship a box. Saturn, the ball,
Saturday.
Baal. You have Pandora's box. You have the Bible and the Mormon book. They said the Earth rolls out like a scroll, and all these different religions, things they worship a square. The human star, if you're inside of a box and you do the left up, right down, up, and you're inside of a box, the star is an unfolded box as well. So the human star is a box. You are the the center of that square. We're all in the center of our own square.
Yeah. You say you're outside of the box, or
Think outside the box. You're not thinking outside the box. So
there's a lot of literal sense to a lot of verbs as well. Yeah.
yeah, and the ancient Pythagorean belief, like Greek pantheon, they believe the Earth was linear. Like that the Earth was a verse, like a single line, and you run in straight long enough, you come back to where you came from. Just like the stars, they eventually the stars, they rotate in a single line. It's just a circular line. So it comes back to where they came from. The stars. That's why I also don't believe in an infinite plane. It's because there is a constant rotation of the stars. There's a timer. They're on a set timer that tells me that we're inside of a system. Like
Precise. Yeah.
yeah. So I've come to some conclusions. I've jumped to some conclusions based off of reason and logic. Now I'm open to other theories, ideas, models, maps, but Square Earth is to make the globe model work flat. You're gonna come up with a Square Earth type model. You're gonna have an infinite east to west loop. You're gonna take the Pacific Ocean off, lay it down flat. It's gonna look kind of like a octagon, square, rectangle, and it's with and I guess whatever longitude and latitude, whatever latitude line, you would reappear, I guess, like some kind of like script, right? So
Mhm.
like if you were to come off of one edge of the map at 20 degrees, you would reappear at 20 degrees back over here, and you would never experience this, but that's what you get what I mean? Like
Yeah,
so
I understand what you're saying.
so however the globe map lays flat, that's how you would lay the square Earth map flat. They call it square Earth. I'm not sure the exact dimensions, right?
Hmm.
But the map that we have in our phone is square. The map that you learned on in school is square. The map that you use at the airport is square. The one we have in our phones, the ones that are in the travel package companies, the one that are in the FedEx, all these.
So
Yeah.
logical, practical, closed-minded people would say, yeah, but that's because the size of the paper or the shape of the paper or it's how you carry it easiest and blah 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 blah. There's a million reasons why that doesn't make sense, but there's a billion reasons why a ball spinning through air, or sorry, space that doesn't have air in it, that's a vacuum that hasn't got anything to. So who's ever had a freezer bag and they've closed the seal on the Ziploc bag and it's had air in it?
Mhm.
And then you unzip a little bit of it and you squash the air out and it goes and it sucks up like an anorexic kid. That was a bad joke, sorry. And so what that is that you're creating like a vacuum, right? Air's being taken out of it. But it's because you've got a container. Try and do that. Try and take the air out of two pieces of paper put together like that. It's not going to happen. So tell me how you can have a container where you've got a vacuum out in space, but we've got an atmosphere in here that's an observable atmosphere, right? I can see the atmosphere because it's the density we were talking about, like with the clouds. It was like we know that there's particles in the air because if you look at the air in microscope, you can see stuff floating around. If you look at it in the sun, you can see the stuff floating around in the air, right? So things are lighter than air. So we've got all this stuff that's going on, but we can't really pin down any one part of it. And because they've flipped and inverted every bit of reality and every bit of truth for you, you've got absolutely no thread that you could go on that would really get you definitive sources unless you've had divine intervention. Like we've talked about previously about censorship with Facebook, with YouTube, how if you go looking for a flat earth video, you'll get all the shill ones that point you back in the direction of being an idiot.
Yeah, at the end of all my videos, if you go watch any of my videos and let it play, if you let any of my videos play all the way up to the end, and then let the next video play, it'll be like Neil deGrasse Tyson or NASA or some mainstream pseudo or a TED Talks video. I'm like, that's the last thing I'd want any of my viewers watching.
Of course it would.
Is what you're suggesting next. So, but I don't get the same, why don't see, I would rather them suggest one of my videos or one of the people that I follow.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why don't you suggest somebody that I follow next that relates to this video?
It would make sense, right?
Yeah.
Or a keyword that related to it. Because if they've somehow got to your video, it's very unlikely that they went down the most generic path, because that's the reason why you've only got a few followers compared to what like the big mainstream fake ones are. Like when you guys told me like, who was it the other day you dropped a bomb on me? I was like, fuck, he's fake. It was Eric D.A.B.S. I don't know who it was. Someone you said like, ODD? You're like that. Yeah, ODD. I was like, fuck. Like that. I haven't paid attention to the guy enough. I've listened to and seen a few things of him, and I go down a little bit of a path with people, but I'm like you, and I try and get my own observation and then look at lots of other sources to find other information about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I come up with my own conclusion. Mine was the information that they were sharing, and some things that they weren't talking about, and the things that they did like to talk about were entertainment, things that you could get lost, and very divisive things, and things that really do you no good in knowing or researching about it, and I came at it from a perspective like this, that I was able to figure some things out, that I was able to debunk a lot of things. And D.A.B.S. and ODD, they're really smart and intelligent. And to me, they were too smart and too intelligent to not be lying. Does that make sense? So, like, when you bring knowledge and attention to somebody who clearly gets it, and they still reject it, and then decide to keep on. To me, that is shill behavior. Is direct shill behavior. So it was.
It's similar to like I had a guy come out about water and about how sea salt is the only type of salt you should be having in your water, right? And he went to Dr. McCullough and he told Dr. McCullough, like, you keep pushing the pink salt, but the pink salt's dehydrating people. Here's my studies. Here's the evidence. Like, this guy's old school, like, Russian dude. And I listened to him and I did my own research. And I tried the stuff that he's saying. And I, without a shadow of a doubt, believe that blood plasma relates directly to how much salt water you have in your water. And if you're not having the right type of salt, you're not going to get the right type of hydration and your cells aren't going to detox. And he told McCullough, and because McCullough sells it on his website, he didn't take it down. So this guy's making like lots of money off the products that he's got. But if someone comes to him with genuine information, he's not vetting it and then going, I need to make a better business decision. So when people are making money and they're getting clicks and stuff, maybe that's what they do.
Yeah, so where were we at? Freak. Yeah, the flat Earth story just keeps going on and on and on and on and on. Like I find new things in the sky every day, and it's like where Zach was talking about how he likes to focus on NASA and the liars. I don't. I find that I don't like to make to jump. I don't want my passion to be attacking. I want my passion to be. I want to love doing it and love, and not. Of course, the NASA's people, they can give me lots of content and good content, and every time they put out a video, I could do a rebuttal video and make fun of it. But and then I'm claiming to be. So to a sheep who thinks that this is a scientist who has a degree, are they going to listen to me that doesn't have the degree? And now I'm gonna be like, look, it's stupid and fake, and like you don't know what you're talking about. They're just gonna dismiss you. But if I'm sitting here professing my love for the sky, like, why does this guy like the sky so much? That to me will draw in more eyes than the negative energy. Like, see, they're fucking liars. Like that. That turned me off for a while too, because a lot of people have a lot of affection towards NASA. Like, that's their golden calf. So
I think you've got a thing where there's clickbait and then there's authenticness. And clickbait is looking at something and realizing that you're going to get more likes, more shares, more engagement if you go down a certain path. And some of these people kind of choose that direction over being that real authentic self of what you are. And you're not trying to front or be anything that gets a certain narrative across to get exposure. You're trying to be like your authentic self. And on top of that, you're very aware of where you want to put your energy. So you're putting your energy into the mystery of the world and the magic of the world. And to be honest, that's why I love watching your videos. I love watching your videos because you're assessing things that are simple, observable things that anyone with time on their hands can go and do. That's practical and nice. Like, versus someone saying, look at the CGI fake NASA shit. Well, you didn't get me any closer to knowing the divinity by looking at the hooks that are holding that guy up.
Yeah. Exactly. Like, I want people to be connected to their experience. That's my passion, is like, if I could get you to look at the sky or something differently, like, than you do now, that's when people like see things, I can see their eyes light up when I'm talking to them. That there's something in my heart that just like warms me up. I remember when I used to sell DMT and sell the experience, when they would first open their eyes and start thanking me from like the bottom of their heart that I shared this experience with them. It almost like made me like tear up in my eyes almost every time. Like, they would come out of me like, oh, thank you. I can't tell you what this means to me, and it's like that. I get the same feeling when I'm telling people that are new to any kind of knowledge, and I'm telling them about the moon observations. That I can see their eyes light up, and like, to be connected to creationism and design. That's true divinity, to be connected with the world around you and know that you're creating your reality and that we're all co-creating it and we're manifesting it and that you're responsible for all of it, essentially. It changes the way that you feel about the world. Like,
It does.
Your darkest days no longer are dark. There's light filled in those days. Even your most depressed times, where you're like, when you could be contemplating suicide or like serious depression, you would never kill yourself. I would never kill myself. Even now and today, I have my ups and downs. We all have our ups and downs, right? But I now will never go to those downs that I used to have, like where I could fall off the cliff, experiment with drugs, hit little rock bottom, and that no longer is even an option for me because of what it has done spiritually for me. And I think that's the biggest disconnect, is separating you from you being the creator, right? That's essentially what the message we're on that same page, right?
Fucking oath, brother. I'll leave you with this. It's the mystery of another day. I've been in dark places similar to yourself. We've both shared little bits of our story on these lives we do, but there's something about this place. There's something about this time. There's something about the opportunity we have where it's fucking precious, man. It's so precious. Like, even with all the fuckery that's going on, to marvel in all the things you don't know and to be humbled by that and to be grateful for that, that's what life is to me these days. I'd prefer to live that life than to be competing with the Joneses, to be worried about a narrative, to be following orders. I'd prefer to be amazed by watching animals and my kids and the sky.
Yeah. We're like Christian pagans. Huh. That's what I like to call myself.
Let's go crucify a goat.
I'm gonna go through the comment section real quick. We didn't have too many people in here today. Xander was in here. Yo, what's up? Yo, lying cheating bastards. Speaking of groceries, hope you'll still be able to return for a pandemic. In the UK, they took away the sentence about mass death. Somebody said I look like Doc Holliday from Tombstone with my mustache.
I like it.
Imagine taking ad hominem seriously. Somebody retracted their comments. Alright, Reno, the moon mirror only works with low quality pictures. This doesn't work with high quality pictures in the moon, since you can see pretty much everything. Besides, the funniest thing is that it is reflecting Earth's continent's position does with the Earth's sphere, so it's pretty funny. You can't see the sun at night, but you can see the moon at night. I don't understand. LOL.
I think that what they're trying to say by that one is you can't see the sun at night, but you can see the moon during the day. I think that's what they're trying to say.
Yeah, why isn't the night lit up around the moon?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I want to know. Circle is inside the square. See, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the cosmos circle above the square. So we're a part of Foursquare. Have you ever played the game Foursquare?
No.
East, west. Yeah, used to play a game called Foursquare where you kick the ball from one square diagonally.
Okay, yeah.
There's a perfect four squares inside of one large square, and you kick the ball over here, and then you rotate winner, loser, main square.
Yep.
So yeah, it's four squares with two big circles rotating above. Northern constellation, southern constellation. Here,
yeah.
I have a image real quick. Let me screen share real quick. All right, I'll share my entire screen. Screen 1. Here we go. Okay.
Yep, you're on. Yep.
There we go. Flat Earth science memes. This is what I think the Earth is right here. Kinda. Oh, it won't let me open it. So, see how it has the stars rotating around it?
I can't really from that one.
There you go.
Here we go.
Yeah, so everything rotates from east to west. And then you have the southern stars over here and the northern stars. So but this is showing it from a side, and I think it's more on the top of it. Like there's
that's orientated the fuck out of me. I don't know where I am on that right now.
Let's see. Oh, here's a better image.
Yeah, that's what I'm after. Where'd you get that one?
I'm not sure. I took a lot of screenshots of old YouTube videos back in the day. So
Because what I've found from understanding the stars, like I've got like constellations I can see, but I can only see some of them. But I know that I get all of them in my area because otherwise you'd have people that were born in your part of the world that would only have certain star signs, and I'd have people in my part of the world that only have certain star signs. But the truth is that there's Geminis where you are, there's Geminis where I am, there's Capricorns where you are, there's Capricorns where I am. So that says and suggests that I get the full rotation. But I'm not seeing my full rotation. I'm only seeing a part thereof. And I'm only seeing, I can see in my visible, observable sky 3 to 4 constellations at the moment, 5 maybe max. I could see Pisces, Orion, Aries, Taurus, Aquarius, something else. That's it.
So we need some
Whatever
more.
they are in that direction. Yeah.
So this is week 4 for Deceivers and Believers podcast. If you want to be a guest, we're gonna be every Tuesday. We're gonna be talking about Realm Earth, and then on special weeks we'll have guests. I have a whole plethora of guests that I want to get lined up for every Tuesday at 5 p.m. If you want to do another time, if you want to share your story, your platform, I would love to have you on. I would like to give anybody to share their truth or story and experience. If you've got a business, social media accounts, and you're trying to network, I will be glad to give you my platform and glad to have you on here. And yeah, content's
Likewise.
content.
Likewise.
Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed the show. Thank you, Nate. It's been good talking to you. I hope you
Thank
have
you,
a good
Preston.
night. Yep.
Take care.
Have a good week.
See ya. Bye.